way to the Drive Electric Earth Day event in Viroqua, Wisconsin. And as always, this is pretty typical of what you're going to see around our house. Farms everywhere. It's pretty though. Alright everybody, so I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but here we are. We're on our way to Viroqua, Wisconsin for the National Drive Electric Earth Day event here in Viroqua, Wisconsin. I got my boy Ryan with me in the back, munching on some Dunkin'. Well, they're not a sponsor. I don't know if I should say their name, but oh well, I'll be put in YouTube jail if I'm not allowed to talk about them. So, but yeah, we're on our way to Viroqua, Wisconsin, and we're gonna see what it's like to drive an hour and 15 minutes through the rural Wisconsin farmland, basically. So we left the house with 90%, says we're gonna get there with 63%, and then we'll hang out for 4 hours and show people our electric car. And last I checked, there's 9 other cars there. No, 8 other cars, including us. Mostly Teslas, but we'll see what shows up. And yeah, it should be a fun event. We went last year, and it was a great time. So we'll see what we have this year. Cows! It's what my state's famous for. What do you want to do over there?
The light show.
The light show? Of all the things, you want to see the light show? Maybe we can get everyone there, every Tesla there, to do a light show. Wouldn't that be cool?
And then they all do that.
One thing I forgot to mention, it is 32 degrees outside today. Right now this morning it's supposed to be like a high of 42. So we'll see what that does to our range. For those of you new to EVs, when you have cold weather and you're driving, a lot of times, well, every time, your car will use the battery pack's electricity to keep the battery pack warm, and that takes away some of your range. So right now it's 32 degrees. The nav is showing still 63%, and we've been driving for a good half an hour. So we'll see what our range looks like when we get there. Right now we've got 75% range. I go by range, not miles. I go percentage, not miles. But yeah, we'll see what it looks like when we get there in about, let's see what we got, 32 minutes. So otherwise, it's a very nice drive. All right, we've made it to lovely Viroqua, Wisconsin, and it's actually colder now. It's 28 degrees Fahrenheit. And that affected our range just a little bit. We were supposed to get here with 63%. We actually arrived with 62%, which is not a huge deal. Just some stats here. So we went 62 miles, took an hour and 15 minutes, and our average watt hours per mile was 294, which is not bad for this car. But yeah, not bad at all. So we're here. We're the only ones here. I think we're early. The event page says it starts at 8, but it might start at 9, so we'll see. All right, one last thing I want to mention for those of you who are new to electric vehicles. So here we've got, this is called a J1772 adapter, and what this plugs into is the charger over there. I'm not going to get out and show you because it's kind of windy and my microphone isn't that great. So this end would plug into the J1772. This end would plug into our Tesla. So you got to make sure you get the right adapter and all that kind of stuff when you go to wherever you're going. And remember, PlugShare is your friend. You guys know I love PlugShare. It's good. It's a good website, isn't it, Ryan? Yep, it's good. Okay, it is freezing outside, 28 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cold. I got a sweatshirt on, coat on, my hat on. I forgot my gloves, but this will be interesting too. So we've been here for a little while now, and we got here with 62%. We are already at 61% at 8:39 a.m. So as the car sits here in the cold, it will also lose some range because the car's battery is going to use its own electricity to keep itself warm on a cold day like today, where it's not plugged in and charging. We do have a good turnout so far, so this should be pretty good. Good turnout. New Model S, Mustang Mach-E, plug-in hybrid. There's a Model X over there, Model Y. There's our Model Y, another Model Y, a bunch of Model Ys. There's an ID4 somewhere around here. and a couple Chevy Bolts, EUVs. All right, the event is over. It is now 12:27, still cold out. We're at 59%. It's just sitting here, didn't go anywhere this whole time. All right, we've reached home with 36% battery. It's 2:10. It warmed up a little bit to 41 degrees Fahrenheit, but for this trip, we went 128 miles since our last charge, 34 kilowatt hours of battery used, and an average efficiency of 265 watt hours per mile. Not bad. Nice thing, we're plugged in. It's going to take 4.5 hours to reach 90%. Luckily, we're not going anywhere till tomorrow. All right, time for some wrap-up stats. So we left the house with 90%, drove an hour and a half in freezing cold temperatures, sat there for 4 hours, and then drove back another hour and a half. So we left home with 90% state of charge. We got home with 36%. And then the nice thing about having an electric car, you just pull into your garage and you plug in. And in about 4.5 hours, we were back up to 90%. So luckily for us, we weren't going anywhere else that day. Maybe some light driving around town. I think we went and got some pizza. But, that takes 1 or 2% at most. So yeah, by 6:40 at night, we were back up to 90%, which is awesome. That's one of the best things about owning an electric car. Of course, if you don't have a garage, or if you live in an apartment where they won't put in a charger for you, and you have to rely on supercharging, then it gets to be a little bit more of a problem and a little bit more of a challenge. But for us, and for those with garages, or those with access to electricity, it was great. So for the second year in a row, we went to this event in Viroqua, and for the second year in a row, it was awesome. It was really cold this year, though, which was not ideal. Fingers were numb, which kind of sucked. But it was still a lot of fun. There was a good turnout. There were several cars, which I'll show you here in a minute on the Drive Electric event webpage. Volkswagen ID4 was there. Somebody had a Mustang Mach-E. A new Tesla Model S was there with the yoke steering wheel. I'm trying to think what else. 2 Chevy Bolt EUVs. So that was kind of interesting. So last year there was a dealer from the Ford dealership up the road there in Viroqua from the event, and they brought a Mustang Mach-E last year. And the salesperson who came with the car to the event didn't know anything about the car. He told me the wrong battery pack, even though you could tell from the sticker in the window it was a certain size. He told me a different number. Super nice guy. He just didn't know what he was talking about. And so that's one thing to watch out for if any of you ever go to an Drive Electric event. It's not just owners of EVs. Sometimes dealers go there to try to get free advertising and to try to sell you something, which the free advertising component is what the Ford dealership was doing with the Chevy Bolts that they brought this year. Last year was Mustang Mach-E. This year they dropped off 2 Chevy Bolt EUVs and just left and said, hey, we'll just get some free advertising from these folks who actually like electric cars. And that's the other thing about, people kind of compare Tesla to legacy automakers. The legacy automakers that I've had experience with, they're the people that work for Lego Odyssey makers, don't really care. They don't really know what they're talking about. They don't care to learn most times. I could be wrong. There could be plenty of people out there who do want to learn about this stuff, but my experience so far has been legacy automakers and their sales agents don't really care to learn about the cars. So the event itself was awesome. We had several people that I talked to that had questions ranging from, will this electric car affect my sensitivity to certain electric currents in the atmosphere, which was that was a unique one. I had never heard a question like that before. Several people just didn't know anything about like how you drive a car, where you plug it in, all that kind of stuff. So if you ever have questions about an electric car, one of these Drive Electric events is awesome. So I'll show you their webpage in a minute here, and you can look up the Drive Electric events going on all over the country. There's 2 usually every year. One is in April for Earth Day, and then there's another week in September that there's events all over the country. So you can go and talk to people. Some people give test drives. We did not, because I had I had Ryan with me. And there was one interesting question. A guy asked me about the TikTok trend where people tap their Tesla charging cord on their taillight and then they plug in the car. If it's on the TikTok, I don't really do it. Yeah. So, all right, enough about the TikTok. Here is the webpage for the Drive Electric Earth Day event. So you simply just go to Drive Electric Earth Day. This is for the one that we went to in Viroqua, Wisconsin, of course. Obviously, that's where we were 8 to noon, you know. And it gives you all kinds of information when it is, where it is. This co-op is awesome. If any of you are ever in southwestern Wisconsin, it's a great co-op. And then this event had passed, so they give a report. One thing that's kind of cool, you're not seeing my knee-jerk reaction, but right here is me. And I'm talking to a guy named Chuck. So I'm actually mentioned down here. Where is it? Right here, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Chuck was cool. He has some interesting experiences and opinions about electric cars, and that's one of the great things about going to one of these events. You'll meet all kinds of people, and you can also see from this picture there's a Chrysler. That one was actually a plug-in hybrid. There's one of the Bolt EVs that the dealership dropped off. There's a couple Model 3s over here. There's our Model Y. There's ID4. So yeah, there was all kinds of cars here. On the other side of me, which you can't really see here, there's like a BMW i3, I think it was. I don't think it was an i4. Yeah, and then it tells you how many people show up. These are the people that registered for the event and how many electric miles they have driven. So this page will give you all kinds of great information. And you know, it's good to look at before you go to the event, of course. I just wanted to show you what the event page looks like in this sort of layout. So let's take a look at the next Electric Earth Day, not Earth Day, but the next electric drive events. So in addition to Drive Electric Earth Day, there is a National Drive Electric Week. So that's the last week of September, early first week of October. So if you want to go to an event and talk to actual owners of electric cars and get some questions answered, possibly test drive a car, that's the place to go. So you just pull up this website here, it's driveelectricweek.org/attend, and this is the map of the country, all the events that are going on in the country as of right now. Today is May 6th of 2022, so there will probably be more that pop up in the coming months all over the country. But you can just click on any one of these and there's an event information link, and it'll take you right to where the event page, the specific event page in it, you can register there. Okay, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this video with anybody who might be interested in electric vehicles, anybody who has questions about electric vehicles, but especially people who live out in the country, out in, you know, sort of rural America, where the charging infrastructure is not as developed. And, you know, if they have any questions about EVs that I don't answer with any of my videos, send them to the Drive Electric webpage, whether it be Earth Day or National Drive Electric Week. It's an awesome resource. These events are free. You just might have to deal with people who don't own the car. So if you go to one of those events, just connect with somebody who owns the car and ask them questions, especially if they've been an EV owner for a while. We know quite a bit about our cars because once you start driving an electric car, you're kind of hooked. They're awesome cars to drive, and it's kind of, you can't really help it. You just want to know more about the car and why it performs the way it does and how much you actually spend on charging, which is not much, and all that. You know, there's so much information from EV owners. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.